My name is Rob Love, the Wolf of Radio, and you're listening to Debatable Truths, where all truths are debatable, objectivity prevails, and mediation occurs. You're passionate about what you believe in. There's no doubt about that. But if you couple that passion with your own stubbornness, then how objective do you honestly believe you are? Your stubbornness is how you protect what you're passionate about. See, you don't want to let someone tell you who you are or how to be or how to act or tell you how to talk. And the truth is not debatable in your own mind, not your truth. Like, how can you tell me that what I'm saying is not true just because you think it's not? But guess what? Your truth, no matter how well you speak it, how articulate you are in your delivery, no matter how trustworthy you are, there's somebody that don't believe what you just said. You got people that won't ever believe anything you say. But then you got some that do. Maybe your friend, family member, somebody that feels that you're very trustworthy and you can be trusted. See, everybody got an opinion. And on Debatable Truths, we're going to listen to that opinion. We're going to absorb that opinion. But we need to let you know, though, that there's always two sides to every story. Because, see, from your perspective, there's two sides to every story, all right? It's their version and a better version. So guess what? You tell them they better get on board with your opinion or your version or be gone. Period. Yeah, I did use the T. That's my first time probably ever in life using the T on the end of period. But I think you got the point. Because if you listen to this podcast and you feel that you know that person or what I just said sounds a little bit like you, then keep listening because you're in for a treat. We'll be back. My name is Rob Love, the Wolf of Radio, and you're listening to Debatable Truths, where all truths are debatable, objectivity prevails, and mediation occurs. How many times have you heard the phrase, respect isn't given, it's earned? Or been asked the question, loyalty or love? One phrase, one question, that are both debatable truths. I'll explain. How much respect do you have for a surgeon that needs to fix your heart, your leg, your nose, heck, a gunshot wound? Have you met this surgeon before? Do they have your respect prior to the surgery? Or did they earn your respect after a successful surgery? You respect a fireman, a teacher, a coach. I mean, it's debatable about a mentor because, they wouldn't be your mentor if you didn't already respect them, right? That is the reason why you chose them. But I could sit here all day and create a list of people that you probably respect, But by that definition, have they earned it yet? All right, let's see something real quick. Debatable truths or not. You respect your parents. Some of the listeners thinking, well, that's a no-brainer. But the other listeners pretty much oppose you because they don't respect their parent. Because in my community, a lot of us don't even know both of our parents, if we know them at all. And generations before us, this is the reason why we having a tough time finding out who our family members are, because people were giving up, product of the court, raised by the grandma, raised by auntie. Census is not helping us out right now. Because essentially, like I said, where I come from, we have to deal with the real simple concept of being mama's baby and daddy's maybe. That's real though. Especially now. You know, we got that DNA now, so we can check, we can find out. And we're in for a rude awakening in a lot of cases. Some of us respect the stepfather more than we respect the biological father. We got many friends we believe don't have a lick of respect for their parents. Neither one of them, for that matter. Now, I only said the word believe because that feeling could be emotional and many times just probably situational. Because you can respect anybody temporarily on Thanksgiving. They feeding you. On your birthday, they sharing you down with gifts, and the same thing for Christmas. That's that situational type of respect. But then you right back cussing them out under your breath. When they ain't get you that big wheel or that He-Man doll. As a parent, don't I get the right to say, this is my house, and respect it? But then again, if you got that little ornery kid, they gonna say they got the right to say, well, I respect your house, but not you. And right there, depending on which parent that is, you just got smacked. Dead in the mouth. And go your little ass to your room or get out. And you better not be in there crying before I give you something to cry about. So now did that parent just earn respect because they smacked the kid in the mouth, or because they gave them their well-executed discipline tactics? Debatable truths. I posed a question earlier about loyalty or love. If you had to choose what you value more, which is it? If someone is loyal to you, they down for whatever. They're your ace. They got your back. Loyalty means you can trust them and they're very, very dependable. No matter what goes down, they gonna stay true. They freedom or life could be on the line. They still got you. And if you're loyal to them, much of the same applies. They know you won't hesitate to even take the rap for them. Stand up for them. You got their back thick and thin. You true. Nothing can get you to turn on them either. And they don't have to worry about where your loyalty lies. But love is when your heart can't stand to see nobody suffer. Love is mending that oldest broken relationship with maybe even your estranged father, cousin, sibling. Love has no bound. Love is real when it's real. I might need to say that again. Love is real when it's real. So don't talk to me about this other type of love that you keep saying, well, if they loved me, they wouldn't have done this. Well, maybe that was out of love they did whatever they did. Because how many times you got a spanking and said, well, I whooped you because I loved you. Love is this little kid is at the intersection. Probably a little white kid. He's afraid to go across the street by himself. Black man walks up, grabs his hand, come on, son, and walk him across the street. Thank you, sir. Love is when you attend your sister's arch enemy's graduation because, well, that arch enemy just happened to be your cousin too. Love is understanding the subjectivity in loyalty. So is attending that graduation being disloyal to your sister because her enemy was the honoree? Who determines when loyalty has been violated? That's a very, very important question there. The subjectivity in loyalty comes when your personal feelings about where someone else's loyalty lies is questionable to you. When you and, let's say, 3 other family members take a trip to Vegas, on the same weekend as that same sister that questioned your loyalty because you went to her enemy's graduation, that sister wanted you to stay with them instead of go with your cousins or your family members to Vegas and celebrate her birthday with her. Show your loyalty, big sis. Celebrate with me. Was your loyalty to her violated because you chose to go to Vegas with other family members or even friends? And that's her weekend. Or did you invite her to go to Vegas with you, but she declined? So you chose to just celebrate with her prior to going to that trip, and you still went anyway. So was that enough to show your loyalty? Debatable truths. These and many more debatable truths are spoken by everybody during our everyday lives. Our opinions, our feelings, the criticism we give towards the people that we love can directly affect their reaction to what we said. The way we deliver the message or our tone of voice even might dictate how the message was received. Who's the audience? Who you talking to? Knowing your relationship with whoever you're talking to matters as well. You can't say the same thing to your suburban raised timid cousin that you can to your hood raised fully grown uncle from the streets of Chicago that grew up in the thick of it. The way they receive the same message may not be the same, especially if it's a little over the top, like some of you can be at times. I'm guilty. You can't be the same asshole to your little timid cousin that you can to your hardcore uncle, because knowing your audience means sometimes you gotta strategize how you say it and what you say, thinking about their own sensitivity. being genuine is real, and being yourself is real, and you should do that. However, still, you got to think about that person too, because that person actually still has feelings. But always showing love, it matters. Honesty is your own spoken truth. Much of what we say is debatable, but I tell you what, somebody's still listening. And if you think how you say what you say doesn't have a major effect on how somebody receives your message, false. I think everybody should try to figure out who they are before trying to help somebody else. If you at least be real with yourself and try to understand yourself, you might learn to be more objective in your thoughts and maybe actually communicate your thoughts better, because then every person you talk to will think you understand them and you can relate to them. And maybe they'll be more receptive to what you're saying. So that's my tip for you, Rob Love, Wolfer Radio. We'll be back. My name is Rob Love, the Wolfer Radio, and you're listening to Debatable Truths, where all truths are debatable, objectivity prevails, and mediation occurs. I'm really feeling this black girl magic and melanin popping. Some of y'all take it a little bit too far, but it's not your fault. You're a little bit excited right now. You hot. You had your hot girl summer. You making entanglement money now. And you got your challenge accepted face. Y'all getting it in right now. Black girls are in for real. I'm not really sold on the actual intent though of the hashtag Me Too movement. We'll talk about that in a later episode, but seemed to me that it's more about how black girls feel that they're being disrespected and getting attacked by the brother man. But I just happen to be one of those, and I got many, many brothers, including myself, that fully value our sisters. Heck, I feel that if it's twice as hard for us to make it, then it's got to be twice as hard for them to make it, a sister, than it is for us. So what's that, about 4 times as hard? Yeah, if my math correct. I am a math major, but sometimes I can't do simple addition and subtraction or multiplication. But they do it, so what that tell you? Because they doing it. If you see a sister on top or the position of 30, they earn that shit. If you see them in the limelight of any business or corporation, good chance they the best employee there by far. Minus the lazy little outliers that always trying to get over and find the easy way out. We ain't talking about them. When my regular panel come on to Debatable Truths to join me, we'll introduce them at that appropriate time. And we'll dive deeper into many of our own debatable truths as black people, but really dig deep into everyday life's debatable truths. We'll even dive into a little financial advancement for you, help you get your portfolio more diversified. We definitely got to hit mental health, which is a really big issue in our community, and the debatable truths involving this more serious truth in our society. We have many upcoming guests. I'll name a few. One is Dr. Makisha Miggins, Tuskegee University graduate and oncology surgeon, and Mr. Anthony Wall Street White, entrepreneur, motivator, consultant, and member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I'd like to end this particular segment with a preview of a future segment I like to call Ain't No Sense of Me Lying. Give us your truth, but keep it real. We'll show you how somebody might interpret that truth a little different. We might make you feel like you're a serial texter. Now tell me text messages ain't often misunderstood and misinterpreted. Nobody understands what you just said or can tell you what your intent was. Give us debatable truths that just so happen to be how you really feel, or maybe you question yourself as probably even being a reasonable human being. Ain't no sense of me lying. You already know it's debatable, but this is how you really feel. Sometimes it's just because you ignorant on that subject or that topic or that society. But who cares? Because you don't give a fuck. For real, though. Tell me I'm lying. You don't give no fuck about how nobody feels about you or what nothing they say about you. Or what they think about how you feel. Ain't no sense of me lying. I'll kick it off. And feel free to send in your ain't no sense of me lying phrases or quotes. After I kick it off, you'll get a good idea of what type of things we're really talking about. You can email us, send us DMs on Facebook or Instagram. And those are our three methods of communication at this point. Or make comments on YouTube. Ain't no sense of me lying. I first got to Japan. I went on the train and everybody had on a mask. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So we look at each other, and it's me and a couple white guys, because what you don't know so far is Rob Love is also a naval aviator. So I used to fly aircraft for the Navy. So very few of us. So we are pretty elite. And we're on the train. They got on masks. We're looking at each other like, what the hell? So I immediately thought, well, these Japanese people must think we nasty. I don't know if it's because it's me. It can't just be me because I'm with these white dudes too. So it can't just be me. They think we nasty. They think we got diseases and they trying to protect themselves. Or maybe they sick. But I wasn't thinking that logically then. I did when I went back in 2016. But back in 2007, I was like, these Japanese people racist as hell. Why are they so racist? So ain't no sense of me lying. I thought Japanese people were racist because they wore masks, and I had no clue that they were doing it for hygiene purposes and really just protecting themselves. Because when you have that many people in a country that small, the trains are packed tight. I'm talking about you have nothing but elbow room, not even elbow room. You can't even move. So to keep from people breathing on each other and catching something and not being able to go to work because they sick, they wear masks. So that's ain't no sense of me lying. Please write in your ain't no sense of me lying truths We'll debate them. And obviously, I already know that you have plenty to debate on that one. But that's kicking it off. We'll be back. Welcome back to Debatable Truths, where all truths are debatable. I'm Rob Love, the Wolf of Radio. So when you qualify a statement with the word all, to me, right then and there, that's false. If you ain't heard me the first time, false. Man, your little truth is pretty much debatable to me. I already know that if you use the word all in any qualifying statement, remember how we used to have the scantrons in school? And they did the true and false question. And in the middle of that question, they had the word all in the middle. What you mark every time you saw all? False. Everybody know that. And if you don't know, now you know. And you can thank me later and give me credit when you pass your next true and false exam and you saw the word all, you marked false for each one of them and got credit. Bam. Because how can all of anything be what you say it is? Give you examples. Like, how can all pilots be unfaithful? How can all attorneys not be trustworthy? Or how can all politicians be corrupt? All right, hold on. All right, I don't know about them. I might have to rethink that one, but that's beside the point. Because the real point is, that's really not at all in regards to any statement you make, which is your truth, that can't be debatable. We're on Debatable Truths, by the way, in case you didn't hear the title of the show. I'm Rob Love, the Wolf of Radio. This is Debatable Truths, where all truths are debatable. And it's very, truly debatable if you use the word all when regarding an entire species of people. They said there's always an exception to every rule, but in this case, if you use the word all to tell me that something about an entire category of people is truth, then you lost me. If I'm in a mood, I'll debate your truth. Or I'll just let you be LW. I had a high school math teacher, Miss Harrell, back in Clarksdale, Mississippi. They used to say LW. Anytime somebody spit out an answer, they raised their hand. Whether they raised their hand or not, it didn't matter. She'll call you LW. Want to know what LW means? Sure you do. Loud and wrong. So you're going to tell me all of this falls in the same category as people that you've probably had that experience with? Because that's what it really boils down to. You've decided that, well, all black men cheat, or all white people are racist. All rednecks are country. But that's no such thing as an all when regarding to a whole group of people. You LW. On the question though, who really cares about what somebody else thinks about you? I think all our debatable truths is we don't care. Not really. But if you don't care, then why you feel some type of way about what you just heard? I'm giving air quotes on this one. Heard what somebody said about you. That kind of sound like you care to me, especially when you get on social media and dedicate an entire post to that person. You're talking to them, but they can't see your post because you blocked them. So how they gonna get the message and who you talking to? Rhetorical question, by the way. Then you realize, well, maybe I'll just tell them or ask them what that thing was that they said about me that I don't really care about because I don't really care what they think. And I might just find out their side of the story and see if their version matches the version that I heard from the person that's not them that told me what that person told me is true. And oh, by the way, I don't care. But you do. You so do care. I think we all care, but some of us have a different definition of what we consider care or things that we should care about. Like we care to find out from the horse's mouth what was said. We care to hear the truth from the source. We care to know if the person is my friend or is my foe. 8-ball MJG. If you don't know, now you know. Friend or foe. We also care to know if we should really care about what was said in the first place. Did it damage my character? The person who I am? Does it affect the way I move? Does it affect how boss I am? If you want to let a good friend go off of just a rumor or something that you heard, then the same really can be said about you, really. You ain't care about them anyway. Unless somebody tell them how you feel about what you heard that they said, you said about them. Want to know what their response is going to be? I don't care. We'll be back. My name is Rob Love, the Woofer Radio, and you're listening to Debatable Truths, where all truths are debatable, objectivity prevails, and mediation occurs. Hey, did you all get the memo? Heard it through the grapevine? Black people are angry. We're irate. We're looting, rioting. Granted, we're the only people that's out there looting and rioting when the looting and rioting was going on. Not sure what's going on out in Portland. They about it out there. So I haven't even read the news, watched the news, read the newspaper. But let's start with one reason why black people are angry right now. There's no arrests for the killers of Breonna Taylor. Let's put this in perspective, because it's worth noting. You have a woman asleep in her bed as police officers storm into her home to serve a warrant on a person that was already in custody. And then there's no fault associated with that. There was a law developed in her name that, to me, associates some type of guilt or ownership that a falsehood happened or even a mistake occurred. So shouldn't you at least be arrested off of a mistake, whether you're bailed out or you have a bond or not, is beyond us. We see this all the time. White female officer in Dallas kills a black man in his home. She got 10 years and a hug from the judge. We feel robbed. We feel cheated. We feel like we're not getting our just due. We feel like we're not getting what we deserve as far as status. We're quite intelligent, smart, articulate, educated. We graduated top of the class. We graduated with honors, summa, magna, cum laude. We're engineers. We're rocket scientists. We're pilots. Usually one of the best in each one of those arenas as well. Not all of us, because some of us are a little slackers. Can't lie about that. But we have passion. And if we believe something that we're passionate about, but your passion, and I'm talking about anything or anybody that's not black, essentially. If you feel that your passion and what you believe in trumps mine, and oh, by the way, you just happen to be white, then to us, you're racist. Debatable truth. Understanding is knowing, and knowledge satisfies curiosity. We've been singing and marching, protesting, kneeling for years, decades. When is enough protesting to bring about change? And these changes have to be law. It's overdue now. When is it going to happen? When are we going to see something that seems beneficial for us? We don't even know who we are. All we do know is we're black and we're in America. Don't you know that the majority of black people in our environment, in our neighborhood, don't even like to be referred to as African American? And guess what white people do to us every opportunity they get? They call us African American. They think that's politically correct. And in a lot of situations, they actually just don't know. So this is where we're here. We're in Debatable Truths, but we're going to still educate you and help you understand who we are as people. And maybe we can just maybe coincide together, or Rodney King said it best, just get along. It's not a takeover. We just want our just due. We're not trying to take over America. I mean, if we have more people in influential and powerful positions, that'll be great. But this is not the time to be afraid of what your status is going to be just because a black man's status has been uplifted, or a black woman. We're confused. We don't know if we are fully black or Native American. Yeah, there's always conspiracy. We don't listen to all of those. Most of us don't. But a lot of us even have the reverse conspiracy, which is the conspiracy of where conspiracies come from. But to each his own. You have that right to believe what you like. And that's what everybody does anyway. When they see anything that they gravitate to or it makes sense to them based off of their own hidden agenda or their own overt agenda, then that is a fact. It's their truth. Although debatable, it's still their truth. "40 acres and a mule." We've heard it before. We've been robbed of our culture, our freedoms, taken from our land. Had to learn a new language and given a religion. I'm not going to touch that today, if at all, but it is a part of the reason why we open this segment with Black people are angry. All inclusive. One day we shall overcome. We're going to remain optimistic that that day is even now. But definitely in the future. We hope that we can be peaceful together. We love a peaceful resolution. But for now, if it's protest, then we shall. If it's kneeling to promote social or bring to light social injustice, police brutality, racism, then we shall. NBA is doing well. They have the banners up. Black Lives Matter. That's a fact. You can't keep killing unarmed black people and not suffer a consequence. What if the penalty was so insane to where it can't happen again unless you just don't value your own life? What if the penalty was extreme? If you killed an unarmed black man, then your sentence is automatically life till death penalty. That would raise some eyebrows, I'll tell you that. Pretty extreme, of course. I mean, we can reverse that too and say the same thing for killing a cop, because there are people too. I have family members that are police officers, really good friends that's police officers, and value them and honor the job that they have to do. It's really tough. But that's my journey for tonight. Thank you for coming on this ride. This is the pilot episode of Debatable Truths. I'm Rob Love, the Wolf of Radio. See you next time.